Hello creators. So this video is about relapse prevention and triggers that maybe you're not aware of, maybe you're struggling with. I want to share with you, knowing your triggers helps to prevent relapse. So I want to share with you triggers of mine. Let's start with, so if you don't mind, I'm going to be reading off my notes. I'm not 100% great at the speaking yet, so just bear with me. I don't want to miss anything, and since I did homework, I'm going to share with you this way. Okay, so let's get into it. So the original saying is people, places, and things. And I'm adding in feelings, because some feelings, obviously, right? We've all been triggered by feelings. Breakups, anger. We use as an excuse feelings to go and use. We take those as an excuse. So I'm feeling a strong feeling. I get to go use today because of it. In the past, I used to think, oh, I broke up, somebody broke up with me. Oh my gosh, I just want to numb it out. So it's time to go get high. Well, there's better ways to deal with feelings today. Becoming aware that feelings are triggers is a big step to controlling your emotions and learning to ask for help. Knowing that and recognizing that it's a trigger, you can choose to do something else. You can reach out for, like I said, help, resources, a therapist, a spiritual coach, happiness coach. You could, go to traditional therapy. You can ask your parents. You can ask a neighbor to just speak with you. You can journal. You can take my recovery coaching program. You can admit yourself in rehab. There's so many other ways. Go buy a book. You could deal with your feelings today. Just becoming aware that those feelings make you want to go and use. Or situations like breakups or losing your job, or certain tragic, extreme things that don't happen every day but do happen. Okay, but I'm gonna go back into common type themes. So people, places, things. Feelings were tragedies and traumas, and sometimes it could just be for the one feeling that I'm gonna get into later. Okay, so let me center myself. All right. So I'm going to share mine with you. My triggers, things that led me back to using, that I had to change and become aware of. Number one, being around the substance, any substance. Because anybody else's addiction that wasn't necessarily mine would make me think about my addiction. So I had to separate myself from people that are using, not allow it to be around me. Okay? So become aware of that. That's number one. To not think you can put yourself around it anymore. Especially within the first year. You are not powerful enough to overcome the chemical imbalance in your brain that is still connected with any substance. Okay? Take it really seriously. Number two, so anyone that was still using naturally. So the substance, if someone is using it, it's the person, You have to eliminate the person being in your life. You have to choose you today. That's what I did. Number 3 for myself, cigarettes. I know you wouldn't think like, oh, well, people in rehab smoke. I mean, I started smoking at one point again when I was in rehab, but I was already starting to want to use again. I was having to be in rehab because a court ordered when I was, 30. I'm 42 on Monday. So cigarettes had to go because any smoke coming out of my mouth, because I used to smoke dope. I know, you probably wouldn't have guessed my drug of choice, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I mean, I've tried a lot of things, but that was the only one I could function on for a long period of time, and I could in my mind, I was using the drug and it wasn't using me. But boy, was I wrong, huh? I allowed it to steal 20 years of my life. And I'm no longer gonna allow that to happen. Number 4, any places I used to go to. Cities, stores, smoke shops, dealers' houses, obviously, but I have to say it. Or restaurants or bars or streets that I used to go to, or drive on to go get it, or yeah. So this brings me to number 5. I decided to move completely to another city an hour away from my stomping grounds for my sobriety, my safety. I won't go into the safety details of what that involved. You have to buy my book that is going to be published January 1st, A Life Coach's Journey Through the Darkness to the Light. And number 6, you have to be done really sick and tired of fucking up. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. So in AA groups and stuff, or AA, they will talk about being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You really have to decide that you're ready for change, that you're sick of it. It's very important, like I said, to choose you today, not the drug or drugs if you had a lot. Knowing you're ready for change is, you'll know when you're chasing your sobriety like you did the drugs. So be ready with the same or more intensity that you had while going to get the drug or to go get high. That same passion that you had and excitement, you have to put into living now. For yourself, for your loved ones, it's time. Me recognizing these triggers of mine have really helped me to stay sober. Number 7, this should have been number 1, but I needed it to come after what I just said. To be chasing the addiction, to know that you're done. Boredom. Boredom should have been number 1. After I was talking about all the feelings, boredom is huge. Like you can't get bored. You can't allow yourself to get bored. There's so much out there to do other than harm your body. There's so much out there in life to do. I dare you to make a list of things that you haven't done in years right now that you would love to do. Number 8, trigger. Being too tired. That was a major trigger of mine because I like stimulants. I like the upper. So it's very, very important today to get good rest, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's funny, this little story, because I did this when I was high too. I used to argue with people to take melatonin for bed around 6 a.m. so they would get at least 3 to 4 hours sleep so they didn't look fucked up and shot out. It was a way of functioning, learning to function while on the drug. I learned over the years how to live on the drug and be a functioning addict, dying to live. Number 9, so now it's a passion of mine to fight for myself to stay living to die. Because that's inevitable, right? We're all gonna die, but I don't fear that today because we don't ever actually die, just these vehicles do, you know, our souls live on, yeah. So, living to die, to stay sober, and to teach others how through my story to stay sober. That's my passion now. I've decided that that's my purpose. One of many is to share my story, so hopefully I can save some other people from, well, you know, nobody really needs saving, but just through my story to help guide you to making better decisions, to know that you can be a better person. Not to say you're a bad person because you're using, but because you're dying to live, and there's better ways. And today is a very important time, and the energy in the world is a very important time today to stay sober. I guess everything happens for a reason. True story. If I can get off the merry-go-round, so can you. You just have to do something, aka everything different. You have to trade addictions, so healthy activities instead of suicidal activities. So instead of doing things that are going to harm you and your families, choosing to live and do things that can help yourself, so that way you can help others, to be of service in the world. I know none of us are getting any younger. I mean, I feel younger now that I'm sober. I have more energy. I feel like I look younger because I'm not tired all the time. I don't have to use all my expensive products, and you don't have to look over your shoulder anymore. You don't have to ride dirty and worry about cops pulling you over. Thank you for your interest, and if you'd like, you can check out my website, unitylovelifecoaching.com, and get yourself relapse, recovery, well, a recovery coaching package with me, or, you know, recovery coaching, or any of the other services that I provide. Also, like I said, again, I do have a book coming out of my life if you're interested. It won't be till January that it gets published, but definitely be checking back with me and seeing the progress. And I hope, and I pray actually, that my journey can help guide you in any way to doing the right thing for yourself. Me putting myself out here, being vulnerable like this, is just showing that you can do it too. And even if it's not on a YouTube thing, that you could be there, you could show up for yourself today. And maybe there's something else, and career coaching with me could help you find that, or a tarot reading, a career tarot reading, or astrology of self-discovery to find out what 40 jobs you'd be good at, to find your purpose, to find out who you are. But you can't do that high. You can't. I tried, but I would forget things, and I never did anything thoroughly, and I always did things backwards, like the full moon rituals, manifestations and stuff. I was doing everything backwards because I was high. I was living a backwards life. I was dying to live instead of living to die. And my motto, loving to learn and learning to love. Constant. That is the secret to life. I really, truly feel that. When you feel like you know everything, it's so much more powerful to say, I know nothing. I am always open to learning something new. And you should too. It makes life so much more exciting and more adventurous. And meditation, that's one of the activities I was talking about, trading. Instead of waking up in the morning to get high, I would wake up in the morning and I do wake up in the morning and meditate for 15 to 20 minutes every day. And that taps me into my higher self. And I feel, with certain breathing techniques, I can feel high on life throughout my day, every day, if that's what I seek. And if not, I don't do the breathing techniques, and I just tap into meditating and calming my mind and becoming more grounded. And I have more full control over my emotions daily. Meditation does so many things, and it guides me. My higher self is tapped in. I'm mind, body, and soul connection. And I traded drugs for that. That was my action activity that I did, that I traded. And I know everybody hears meditation and they're like woo-woo shit, and oh, it's so hard to quiet my mind. And it really isn't. There's different meditation techniques you can do. There's guided meditation, things you can listen to. There's singing out loud in your car. I have it in my book. There's a chapter on it. It's so important to know that meditation doesn't always have to be just quieting your mind. It could be dancing. It could be conscious walking, mindful walking. It could be, like I said, singing out loud in the car. If you know all the words to a song, that's meditative state. But you have to know all the words. And you have to do it consistently. Just like you did trying to get high. And we know that if you're watching this video, you did do that for many years. So you kind of owe it to yourself to do something different. I really thank you if you watched this whole video. Please like, share, and subscribe to help support me and the content that I'm making so I can continue. And bye for now. I send my love and light.